Perfect. So, a very good evening, everyone, and good afternoon, everyone, and a pleasant day, everyone. Those who are not having good evening or noon, right? So, today with us we have Jeremy, with love, to whom we call Mr. J, right? And again, he doesn't like us to call J Mr. in front of him, so he's
I'm
just
just
J for
Jay.
us,
Hello,
right?
guys. How are you? I hope everything is doing well
Perfect.
for you guys.
I hope everyone is doing good, and thank you so much out of in this middle of the day, everyone to tune in to for this episode 2 of Fireside Chat at Fireblaze to know all about NAAS. So let me give you a brief introduction about Jeremy. So Jeremy is the founder and CEO of NAAS, and NAAS is basically the product which is revolutionizing the way in which we deploy our notebooks. I hope that everyone over here is pretty much from the domain of data science and they know a lot of things about notebook. Notebook or Jupyter Notebook in short is the place from where we begin and end as well. But now it's not like that. The way we end it should be with NAS, right? So now basically the place where we code is Jupyter Notebook, right, everyone? And those who don't know, it's just an IDE wherein we write our codes. And NAS has a mission to revolutionize or to they call themselves as a Netflix of notebooks, right? Now we'll try to explore, we'll try to know more about NAS and Jeremy over here. So let me just give this opportunity. And again, I'd
Thank
like
you
to
so much.
welcome you with my whole heart for agreeing to do this second episode with me. Thank you so much for taking out time
It's a
for
pleasure.
us. Now I would like to know more about your journey and like first of all before we jump right into data science or NAS, I would like to know, Jeremy, you as a person, how you started your journey, how was your early days, because today we have a lot of students, today we have a lot of working professionals, those who want to come into the world of data science, those who are already beginning, and the ones who are already like climbing up the ladder in the
Cool.
world of data science. So I want everyone to relate, so let's just start from a very scratch of the beginning of you as a
hmm
person, and then how you evolved and came into the world of data science. How was your journey? I'm very curious to know
Okay,
about it.
nice. So again, hello everyone. I hope everyone is sound and safe, and all your loved one also. I'm Jeremy. So as Aniruddha introduced me already, I'm the founder of NAS, and I wasn't expected to do what I'm doing today. Let me be clear. I wasn't about to do anything I'm doing right now. It's just I came there eventually. I don't know how. I mean, I know how, and I'm going to tell you how it happened. It's actually quite funny because when I was 18 years old, I was a really rebel kind of teenager. I wanted to do my own stuff and didn't like the way society was running. And so I said to my father at 18 years old, I want to go and travel the world. I went to Asia, and I first went to India. And actually, India was the first place where I settled. I managed to got an internship over there in Delhi, in Gurgaon, and it was my first connection with the outside world because I'm coming from Brittany, western part of France. I've been traveling around with my fathers, but it was the first time that I was traveling around. So I went to India, Singapore, and eventually, finally, ended my journey after 4 or 5 months to China, where I was a bartender during the Olympics. I don't know if you guys remember; it was like a few years ago. And so when I came back,
Yes.
I just wanted to go and travel the world again. And I said to my father, I don't want to do any more stuff here. I want to go and I want to settle in Asia because I believe Asia is the future. And he said to me, no, you're not going to go. You're going to go in the business school and you're going to make your work something. You're going to work for something. So I managed to go in the business school, but I had to pay for it. So I got to the bank and managed to do a loan, and this loan came in force when it was the financial crisis. It was back in 2009. So I was like, okay, I'm getting a loan from the bank during this crisis. Is the cash mine? Is it not mine? What's going on? What is it really? So I managed to understand that we were all talking about revenue, profit, and all. and nobody was talking about cash. So I got specialized into cash management, finance. Cash management is my background. And eventually I ended up into an internship where they asked me to do a financial reporting on cash for the 40 entities all around the world. They had no clue how much cash they had in their group. So I was like sending these spreadsheets, asking them over the phone to fill the spreadsheet, cash position at the beginning of the week, flows, cash position at the end of the week. And I was consolidating those spreadsheets with Excel and VBA. So I understood that at that point, finance was all about data. There was no point of making it another way because you spend so much time consolidating, copy pasting, making this clean database where you put all your data frame. You try to make it a nice database basically on your own with your Excel spreadsheet. So I was like, okay, this is something interesting. I'm spending a lot of time there. I want to automate this because I need to spend more time talking to the people. I want to understand what the people are living in. Like, there was this financial controller, treasurer, accountant, but there was also all those business guys. Those guys were making software. So they were making, there was a software project manager who had to give me some inputs about the expenses he is going to have. So I understood at that point that data and science and all of that is made for helping people to spend more time as humans. You need it was like very logical to me. Like, okay, I spend more time with the people if I manage to automate and get data in the right place. So yeah, this was the beginning of my journey. But after that, when my Excel and DBA worked well, I went to another company called Technip, which is an oil and gas company. And for them, I deployed a treasury management software that was matching the bank flows with the accounting flows. Every day, you're matching the two flows together and you're getting the data. So basically, at that point, I worked with the IT guys and the financial guy. And I understood that it was also very long to get the data out when you were actually trying to work on the data project. So I started myself doing Jupyter Notebooks and connecting to the database, getting the data out. And I said to myself, okay, why is it taking so long in the IT business when I was able to do it with the Jupyter Notebooks in a so easy way? So this is how everything got started. Then I quit. I started my own consulting business. I was selling myself as a consultant for different big corporates like Lacoste or like all those retail brands that you may know of in France. I was selling myself to the financial guy to say, okay, I'm speaking the language of data and I'm speaking the language of finance. So let me put the two together. Let me write Python script for you that will be auditable, clear, and that will enable to transform the data accurately. So basically, this was my journey from 18 years old till now. And for the past 6 months, we decided to open source the tool that we were using for our consulting business. And this tool is NAAS. So we were using NAAS and schedule notebooks basically. And this is very unique because you cannot schedule notebooks so easily. You need to deploy server and to make quite complicated stuff. So we made it easy to include a scheduler into a Jupyter Notebook that is cloud-based, and everything we do is open source. And I'm very happy to answer whatever questions comes next because, in short, this is my story and this is where I am right now.
This is absolutely wonderful to know this. Now, in this, what I basically understood is that you never intended to come near data, but you were all around data for the entire
Exactly.
time,
I was
right?
forced to. I realized myself, okay, this is all about data. Finance is all about data. And business is all about data.
Absolutely. It's no industry. So my favorite thing is like whenever I go to any kind of session or anything, wherever I deliver, my one thing is like I try to ask my audience that tell me a domain where you cannot link data yet. And there is no domain where we have not linked data yet. Right from farming to rocket science, everywhere the data would be there. You should be the one who should come into contact with
Yes.
it, right? Or you should be the one who will be able to get some good insights or predict some
Yes.
insights out of it. If you are able to do that, then you are in demand,
Exactly.
right?
Data is the raw material of business and also society. It's the raw material of
Absolutely.
everything that's happening right now. It's the raw material. The one thing is now we can measure it. We can have it. Before we didn't have it. So it's opening doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The high speed internet, it's like helping or boosting or letting us reach to the point where we were thinking of coming some 5 years, 10 years down the line. That data we have already accumulated right
Yes.
now, right? Now, within this entire ecosystem of data, so data was already there. Now, my next question is framing up to be like what coming is into my mind is data was already there. People were already trying to make some insights out of it and connect the dots and try to realize and get some business insights out of it. That's what data analysts or data scientists are all about, right? Now, within this entire pipeline, right, you already have data in your databases or data lake. Now you are fetching that data out, you are getting some kind of CSVs or you are getting some kind of Excel sheets, spreadsheets. If you are working with Excel, then it's all about Excel. If you are working with Python, you'll get it, connect it, and then do it. Now, major of the times, what I see people doing, it's like they largely work on CSVs.
Yes.
Okay, at a student level, they'll be working on CSV, they'll getting the data, they'll uploading it on Jupyter Notebook, and then they'll do some analysis around it, which is wonderful. But let me tell you, ahead of that, you can directly connect your databases and directly get it connected to the Jupyter Notebook. Now, one of the major problem is this scheduling. What I am understanding
Yes.
from your
Yes. Because
standpoint, right? The reporting part,
exactly.
the touch point where you are just being a scheduler as a human, and rather than doing a job of a data analyst or a data scientist, you are just being a bot, getting data from all different
Yes.
sources, creating a dashboard around it, and sending it to your manager or
Yes.
someone, right? Now you wanted to cut this, so this is what I'm observing, that this was your painkiller,
Yes.
right? So what exactly do you, I mean, largely you spend your time, I mean, people used to feel that machine learning is something which they need to learn and that's the core part of data science. Then whenever they start learning, they get to think that okay, EDA or exploration of data is the time where they spend a lot of time in. But there is a phase which you have seen, that after doing all of it, there is a time when you collect every insight and then send it again and again daily at the end of the day so that your manager knows what you have done throughout the
Yes.
day, right?
Exactly.
Can you in short tell us the
I
entire
will.
life cycle around the scheduler part which NAS is trying to solve through the crowd
Yes.
solution? So again, like wonderful. Until now, we have got the name why NAS, right? So notebook as a
Yes.
service.
Exactly.
This I've been into the industry for a couple of years now, but I never thought of it like this. Like what my assumption or presumption about it was, create your model, deploy it on either Amazon Cloud Services or AWS Azure or whatever MLT toolkit you'll get, deploy it and then run it like a loop or something of that sort. But scheduling is a very important aspect,
Yes.
right?
It's actually the core
How
feature of NAS is the
you are able
scheduling.
to do it?
So what is
Yeah.
interesting is in the question you asked is it's all about the journey of a data guy, which is someone touching data in company or in society to make like information and communicate information. So when you are working for someone in a company and you're working into data, you're the guy touching data. Okay? So the guy, everybody expects you to be this guy where they can have the answer from because your hands in the data. But so many times you get extracts from CSV as an input, then you make your model transformation in this Jupyter Notebook, or you deploy it in production because you have already this kind of setup done, and then you have the output, which is BI, email, web app, okay, whatever it is. It's complicated. Input and outputs are not directly connected to the model you do inside the Jupyter Notebooks. So what we are trying to do first is to be able to use notebooks and schedule notebooks. And Then we managed to build drivers to get data directly as an input and drivers to make data directly as an output. And we figured that the best way to do it was a low code approach, where you just need to put one
Okay.
line on top of your notebook. You say NAAS.scheduler.add and you put your cron task, boom, inside your parentheses. This is all about it. When you do this, you have your notebook in the cloud, you put this formula, you're done. It's finished. You have your scheduling bot. It's finished. You can send your report every day at 9 in the morning to your boss with a few bullet points saying like, okay, my output of my model is this. So what we facilitate is this workflow. We facilitate the workflow where you can actually take data from different sources, connect it directly, not with CSV, but you can connect to different tools. This is where the drivers come. Then you transform your data, you
Oh.
put your scheduler, and every day as an output, you can send an email. Because what we figured as well when we were working for our clients here on the retail brands here in France is whenever you have data visualization is fine. Okay. People want data visualization because it's nice and you can get into the data nicely. But when you're talking to someone who knows already the data, they don't actually need the
Yeah.
graph and fancy yellow colors and all. They just want the insights quick. So they want something like I'm going to tell you a story. So one day we were doing so many beautiful apps for basically finance, and those guys were really into quality and nice design apps. So all these guys we were saving them, and we were managing to get all the sales of every store in the world every day, consolidated versus forecast versus last year versus all this budget kind of following of the sales process we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talked to the big boss, the guy told us like, okay, you're doing a wonderful job. It's nice what you do, but I'm always at, can't you give me an email, like a short email with just what I need to know? Because there is so much data all around. I have 5 minutes. Every day I have 5 minutes to read the things I need to do. Help me do that. Otherwise, it's my assistant who is going to take your report, write an email to me, and then send it to me with the key points. So can you figure this out or can you not figure this out? So we were like, okay, we can do it. Like it's easy to make a HTML, send an email. So we managed to add this feature as well to NAS. So when you have a scheduler, then you can add notification. And at the end of the day, you have a little template, and you make in Python, you make variables. You calculate your variables, and then you just put replace, and you can replace the value you have calculated, like the sales, for example, of one day, and you replace it in your template, and you say, okay, I can send you this email every morning at 9, so you can have the sales, breaking down the sales by opportunity in the pipeline or whatever you need to do. So this is how it all got started in our head. Like we were saying, okay, how do we do that? And we were having too much complexity in our clients, so we used NAS internally to try this out, and we used the Netflix component, paper mill, integrated to Jupyter Notebooks, and packaged it, and basically also connecting it to a server email. So you have this workflow running smoothly now in NAS. You can use it like seamlessly. You get data, you make your transformation, you put your scheduler line, and then you, with the low code formula as well, you send an email to your boss every morning at 9 saying, okay, boss, this is what are the insights today. So yeah, everything you were saying, I can really relate to that because it was all about that. It was how do you actually communicate your work as a data scientist without alienating yourself in being the bot, taking out the data, making the thing, getting it out. Like, no, you need to streamline the process, and you eventually don't want to get out of your IDE environment. There is this deployment and complex things that comes at one point when you stop iterating. Let me be clear. We are not replacing the complex infrastructure that enable all the quality of software development. We are easing the iteration process to your managers, to your boss, and everything. Right? So I hope it answers your question because this is a really concrete example of why we were doing this thing. like the question from the client saying, hey, can't you make this, short email with bullet points for me? Because otherwise my
Absolutely. I mean,
assistant is going to do it.
yeah, and the entire conversation or the entire answer what you gave in that one word which fascinated me, or rather two words, is low
Yeah.
code. Right. So low code, when you said, it's like for everyone, right? I mean, I'll be able to do if I'm a management guy. No, nowadays, like it's so earlier the notion was like the data science. It's like a jargon word. People from only tech background or the ones who Python knows. You need to be good in tech to do it. You need to be very good in tech to send emails, whatever insights you have generated, or you would be very good in the UI part as well to create a web app around it, right? But now you mentioned one word, that is
Yes.
low code, right? And that's very important, because now it's not like only techies or only engineers would are coming into the domain. It's more over management guys, it's more over the managerial level who just want to create a pipeline and keep it. Entrepreneurs, business owners, they want to do such kind of
Mhm.
pipelines, right? Now, like, I mean, in my example as well, when at Fireblaze, whatever we are doing, the operations we are doing, how our students are learning, like within a month or on a daily basis, we have like hundreds and thousands of students who are giving tests and
Mm.
everything. So a way in which we try to matriculate our performance of the students is that we try to have some kind of key KPIs,
Yes.
right? Key metrics, to just have an index that are they crossing the threshold marks? Is a particular batch going above a threshold batch or not? Now, earlier, if we were to do this, or until now, how we are trying to do this is, it's like one person would be there. He'll be collecting the entire data of the entire batch or anything of
Mm.
so, and then the entire pipeline would be joined by VLOOKUPs and everything, and all those pivots would be made. And at the end, the numbers would come, and then they'll create a wonderful graph around it, and then maybe I'll read it, or my team would read it and then understand the are we able to provide good learning curve to the students or
Mm.
not. Now what I could imagine with your NAS is that I just want numbers, right? Daily, I know what my
Yes.
numbers are. Like if the performance rate is around 9.8, I know that it will fluctuate around it. I don't need to see what was it
No.
yesterday, right? I just want to know how much it has deviated or how it is going, or at max, I want to know it what was
Exactly.
yesterday, but not for the entire duration of time, or I don't want the entire curve or a trend line, right? But with this, I could integrate it in the morning, and at the end of the day, after completing my entire day at 9 or next day morning, I could just get a mail and I'll be all sorted. Okay, this is what I got to do throughout the day to increase my learning curve of the
Mhm.
students, right? If I could imagine this at a very small level in an edtech company like Fireblaze, I can imagine the potential if everyone is able to use it at their own pace. Maybe in stock markets, maybe they want to create some kind of stock market prediction algorithm wherein they are creating a prediction model to predict the stock price, and they are having an entire bandwidth that okay, your stock price of say Bitcoin would go around this or this bandwidth. You could trade in this value. Don't go above that. Don't
Yeah.
go below it. It's a good insight for me, right? So there could be a n number of different applications, and with this, since you told that how you are able to schedule this up, we have a lot of audience now coming in with a question that they want to look at a demo of it. They want to look at how it actually
Let's do it.
works, right? Or let's do something. If we could manage something of that sort, if we could have just a small use case around something of this
Let's
sort,
do it.
it would be very amazing for everyone to just see NAS doing its art.
Yes. I think I can do it. And I'm happy that
Amazing.
you brought the question where actually it's bringing too much, like so much things into the area. So at the end of the day, we didn't know what we were doing at first. We were just wanted to fix some problems, and we ended
Hmm?
up with this tool that is way bigger than what we were thinking about. And we were like, okay, now we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And every single thing in NAS is in my company is run through NAS, basically. My sales process, when you log in into NAS, it's a free product. You can just log in to the free account. So guys, if you want to try it out, just go ahead. And you have this 100 credit per month. So everything is credit based, basically. The credit is the time you spend on the interface. It's also the credit based on the scheduler. Of course, the scheduler is going to run, it's going to take time, and this will debit some credit. So you have 100 credit per month. At the very first month, you have 300 credits, so you can get into the scheduling stuff and get your ideas running. And then 100 credits. And if you go, I didn't tell it, but if you go in open sourcing and contributing to the templates, because we have many templates available, you will win some credit as well. So there is this way of, as we are open source, we want to contribute and make a big library of notebooks templates. And from there, we can give back to the community, because if you contribute to the template, then you win credit, then you can use NAAS, and then it's a thing that can run on its own. It's an autonomous vehicle, let's say, we want to build. So there is different use cases we can have, and I'm gonna show you how should I share screen. Is there a way?
Just a second. I'm giving you the entire controls. I'm transferring you the session controls. Yeah.
Accept. Is it good? Yes, perfect. I can share my screen. Perfect.
At the bottom, you might be having a...
Excellent.
Perfect.
Good. So, guys, you can see the screen. Tell me.
It's just coming up. Oh, yes, we can see your screen now.
So this is NAAS.ai website. So when you go there, you will figure the scheduling example. You can just start with this one. When you're entering the first time NAAS, you can just start import NAAS, NAAS.scheduler.add. You put your cron task and you send yourself an email. This is the basic, very basic example that explains what I was telling you. Like it was saying, free data science notebooks. People see us as an alternative to Google Colab, but with magic microservices around it, like scheduling. So what you need to know is the product is made in 3 parts: the features, which are scheduler, webhook, assets, callback, dependency, domain. I can enter into that later on if you want. The drivers that are also a library of tools you can integrate in low code. Everything is there is low code. And you can also have the templates. And the templates are a list in GitHub of hundreds plus templates of different topic by sources, where you can actually take some templates and let's say you want to get some data in Google Sheet. It's very complicated actually to run a Google Sheet connector. So we made it simple. You just need to share this address to the Google Sheet, then use import NAAS and replace the sheet ID, sheet name, and you will be able to access your data frame. There is this little button. You can just click on it and it will download it to your NAAS. So that's very simple to use. It's made to be very simple to use. And but you still have all the power of Python. Let me be clear. It's not because we are low code that we don't have the power of making Python script as we should do when you're a data scientist. You can import whatever library you want. It's a virtual private server for you only that you have in our virtual private cloud. Okay, so this address of mine is my VPS. It's my virtual private server. Nobody can touch it. I'm just having this into the NAAS virtual private infrastructure. So let's go into one example, right? You asked me about it. Here it is. Yeah. Then we're going to take this Bitcoin use case, right? You talked about it, and it made me think of this thing we have into a Slack channel, because we have a Slack channel. We're sending information to our community members. We have bots running. And I'm going to talk about it at the end of the day because, or maybe I can show it to you right now. Here in this channel, every day you receive notification, Bitcoin prediction. Hey, here, this is the Bitcoin. This is the price today versus yesterday. What's the variation? What's yesterday close? In 20 days, if we apply basic ML model, ARIMA, SVR, linear regression, and compound, what are the different options we can have? It's very basic. There's no big models running here, just application of basic machine learning model. And I'm going to show you how it works. And if you click on it, then you can just here open dynamic chart. You see, you can just click on this thing, and it will open the graph itself. All right. So here you will have this graph of the Bitcoin and the compound and all the different options that the bot is predicting from now, with the 20-day foreseeing in 20 days from now. Here we are, and here is what the model predict. Again, very basic. You need to build much more complex stuff if you want to go into some accuracy and all, but this is the very simple thing we wanted to show people about. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to take a ticker, which is Bitcoin USD, take 100 days from now, from today, and I'm going to use the NAS driver, okay? NAS Yahoo Finance driver. I'll take the ticker from to. I'll be dropping some NA thing to make them clean data sets. And right here in just a few lines of code, I'm done and I have my data set ready. I don't need to download the CSV. I don't need to do, this is about it, right? You don't have to download CSV. You just can access the data live to Yahoo Finance, because under it we have a little scrapping thing that is getting the data. So you don't have to write the beautiful soup or whatever. We are doing the extraction of the Yahoo Finance data inside the notebook. Then you go into the prediction. So NAS driver, prediction driver is another driver we have. You can get the data set, predict everything that we have already built into this driver, and it will get ARIMA, linear regression, SVR. You know about it. Maybe your audience know about it. It's like a few basic algorithms you can apply. And then you will go further and build your charts. So NAS driver, plotly chart. Again, no need to write 50 lines. It's low code. You have a very basic approach. You just put your X, your Y, and you plot your result. Then what you need to do is you want to export this chart. So you will use an NAS driver export chart, and it will export this chart here. Again, what you need to do is add this bit of PNG, whatever. You want to expose it to the world. So we use NAS assets, which is exposing the PNG to the outside world, to outside the notebook. So it's getting a unique link. Then you just make some setup. You want ARIMA value to be set up in your message. You want SVR, etc. You want it to be having a dollar sign. You want it to be, nicely displayed. So this is how you're going to go. You're going to go with this thing, and you're going to format your data to fill your template. And this template is here. Like, hey, here's the Bitcoin price today. And you have the variables you need to replace at one point. Right here. Okay, you replace every data with the data you have here. At the end of the day, you can print your post and simply send it to Slack just by doing this. You put your token, you put your NAS channel, and you finish by this wonderful little scheduler that will make it run every day at 9. You're done. Then it's finished. You have your bot running. You can just relax and get this thing every morning, 9 a.m. in your Slack channel. But it can work in your email. You can send. Basically, we are headless, right? We don't have any kind of will to become something that is front-facing or whatever. We want to be headless, be able to set up an email, be able to send the graph, be able to do whatever. I hope this example is clear enough and that is answering your question, because this is the way it works in NAS. Simple notebook, a few lines of low code, and trying to facilitate how it is working here.
Absolutely. This is pretty amazing. I mean,
you like it?
it's like just doing like importing NAS and just connecting some drivers and then you are done, right? It's as easy as sending a mail over a Gmail
Yeah.
ID, right? It's just scheduled. It's that easy. You just need to write a line of code. So it's pretty easy. I want to understand one more thing. So you have shown
Yes.
pamphlets, right? You have also like given us a brief flavor that we could contribute and we could create all sorts of wonderful different templates around it. And this is pretty amazing. You also have a like put it around the Slack channel
Yes.
as well, right? Now, so just to get one thing clear, we can mail it. We can also push it to the Slack channel as well,
Yes.
right? This is
Yes.
pretty good. Okay, so is there a I mean, I'm just being curious around it because I see a lot of things happening right now for this. Is there a way to integrate this with WhatsApp as well?
Yes, I'm working on it. We are having this driver's approach. So, whatever you guys can help us contribute into the code base, and maybe I'm going to share my screen again just to come back on the
Oh, yes.
code base because it's all open source. So when it's done, you will be retributed by your contribution, and then it will make the product grow. So how is it inside the code base? So let's go. You
Yeah.
have awesome notebooks, which are the templates, right? You have the
Mm-hmm.
drivers, which are the facilitators, and you have NAS. Basically, those three repositories make it run. And then you have a few little things that you should maybe go into if you are. But to start contributing, you need to go first in the awesome notebooks templates. And what we are doing is and I was just about to communicate on this because it's going to be next week that I'm going to communicate on this. We just built the credit-based system. Okay, 3 months, 3 4 months we took to set it up. Now, if you have an idea, like how do we do it? Do you NAS guys do it for WhatsApp? Okay, so let's look at it. We don't have any yet anything into the WhatsApp thing. So what I want to do
Uh-huh.
is first, like we have the Twitter, we have how to send an information, like something to Instagram. But this is missing.
Oh.
Okay, so when you want to post somewhere and it's not here, then you can make a pull request. And here I have a pull request that I've done yesterday, and on the new thing, which is word orbiter, because we are doing this challenge. So you can just put something. You can just okay, go into your NAS and you can clone the repository. You're having the awesome notebook repository here. Then you can go and figure out and open a new folder, write a templates that will enable you because you have figured out that to do a WhatsApp bot in Python, you need to do this and that. You figured it out, and then you want to share it. So you will contribute to the open source thing with us. And as the template is here and it's maybe complex, you have, 50, 80 lines of Python, we will accept it for some time and we will try to make it as a driver to make it very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you need to build microservices around it. You need to have some complex stuff running for Google Sheet, for example. I've shown you the example. You need to have a particular microservice that is running a part in the cloud for you so it can get the data and serve it to you. So it all starts with the template. If you want to try with the template, you can contribute to the templates. We have also this open source roadmap in resources roadmap. You can go here and you can just create a post like a request here. You can create a request like WhatsApp or whatever. Is it here already? Maybe. WhatsApp, post, image, and message. It's already under review. So we have it to be investigated by Martin, our CTO. He is already like April 2021. With Sanjay, another guy working with us in the core team. So we have tried to do a lot of stuff. Like, okay, there's already something. So if you want to help, you just go, you vote, you manifest yourself here. Then We're going to do first now some notebook template, then we're going to build a driver, and then eventually it's going to be available for everyone through this NAS cloud VPS of yours.
Okay.
I hope I'm clear. Was it clear enough? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Cool. Yeah, so it's all about trying to see how we can make this open source product more strong with a lot more integration. What we are dreaming of is actually having this huge library of awesome notebooks. Those templates could help us go way faster in delivering data project and data products.
Absolutely, yes. I can see a lot of things over there. I could see a lot of things, whatever I could imagine of. I mean, you have things to push it to LinkedIn, your
Yes.
Instagram, WhatsApp,
Yeah.
right? A lot of things are cooking up over there, right? ThinkFlick, Trello.
Yes. LinkedIn is funny. We are building stuff on LinkedIn because I'm spending a lot of time talking to people on LinkedIn and I want to keep the contact. So we have managed to figure a trick to get, whatever you talk to people on LinkedIn, every 20 messages, you can have a scheduler that is extracting the messages from and the information that who are you talking to and building a data frame out of it. So you can send it to your sales process and whatever. Okay. So this is the way we can also, because LinkedIn doesn't allow you to, like build bots, but it's fine when it's going to human interactions and when you're just trying to get some data to perfect your human interaction into the tool. They don't want you to spam basically on LinkedIn, but when you're taking some
Oh
things
yeah.
out, it's okay. So that's what we do. The LinkedIn driver, for example, here, get last messages. Okay, so you can get the last messages you were discussing with, and there is this little procedure explaining you how to do it. And it's very simple. Your LEAT, your G session ID, and you have your data frame with who you have talked to. And your LEAT is like something when you need to go, here inside into the hood. When you go and you figured that there is some application,
That's the unique ID
LEAT,
over there, right?
this application key. You take two of those, you
Okay.
put them into your template. I don't know where I was here. LEAT, G session ID. It was showing here, application, LEAT, G session ID, and then you're good to go. You can get your last 20 messages.
This is very easy. This is so easy to do this.
Yeah. It's all about it. It's all about making it accessible. I am not a data scientist. I'm a data geek. I love data. I love taking out data. I feel frustrated when I cannot get data out. You know, I want to access whatever data available. And if it's mine, it's even more important for me to get it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't need to be a geek in this, right? I mean, the thing what you have proved over here is that you don't need to spend around like time around writing a long codes to just to get make sense out of your data, right? Everything can be done, and the integrations can be done by just merely writing 3-4 line of code, and it's done over there with NAS, right?
Exactly.
So it's pretty good product, and the demonstration what you have given, it's making much more sense to me at least, and I hope that everyone is also getting a lot of idea around this. We are having, I mean,
If there is
there were a few
questions, yeah,
questions.
go ahead with the questions if you want.
You actually answered few of the questions which were already there through your demonstration. Only I was getting 2-3 questions which you already have done it. Before we move to the actual Q&A round and have some time for it, I would also like to know one thing from your end is that I know this Earth challenge, what is going on and what you are doing, which you are also contributing to build around a repository and an entire dashboard and different features
Yes.
around it. So I would like to know more about it, and I would also like to like every audience of us to know that how everyone can contribute or what it is actually all
Okay.
about?
So so what we have been trying to do, last week was Earth Day on the 22nd of April. So it's
Oh yes.
celebrated since 1970, something like that. It's a way to
Mhm.
communicate that you are actually committed to this Earth. Earth is our home. So how do we do something about it? Like, and
Mhm.
so I'm a guy, like, I've been growing up in the countryside. I know nature. This is where I'm at ease. I don't like so much the city, and so I was like living in nature and all. So uh, my I was always concerned about data on Earth. Like, how do we get like macro data to know what um, how the planet is looking, like how what's the planet health basically, uh, is it when you're human, when you're in 41 degree, you feel sick, you don't like it. When you're staying to 37 degrees or 38 degrees, then your body is fine. So I wanted to know, is it possible to do that, like to figure out the planet state? And I just try to figure out, there's so many documentaries, Netflix and all, that are putting so many information, graphs and all about the situation of the planet today. And I saw a lot of it. I was like, oh, I want to get this data. I want to touch it. And so last week, no, last 3 weeks ago, so I contacted Peter Turner, which is a data scientist in South Africa. And he wrote a paper about linear regression applied to climate change to basically forecast the future of different indicators of the temperature. I contacted him and I asked him the question, like, do you think we can do it? And do you think we can have an indicator on the world health? He said, like, he said, man, I'm not sure, but I'm going to think about it. And in the meantime, as it's Earth Day, let's try to invite people to build notebooks to get data on different topics. Okay. So
Oh,
what we have done is we have actually, and I maybe can share my screen again. So we have built a Trello board on different topics that anybody can take and try to contribute. And at the end of the day, we are going to take the indicators that make more sense to build the World Health Indicator. So there is CO2, energy consumption, food consumption, government actions. So the latest things I've done is this thing that is pending in pull request, which is worldometer stuff. So I figured that I was able to. I'm going to show you the notebook. I figured that I was able to actually take data from this website called Worldometer with the world population today, with the world population projection. Then you can print it and have a graph, basically showing you how
mhm.
does the population has evolved since beginning of time, or I don't know. It looks like a COVID curve, but it's a population curve. So but it's okay because you need to know that there is so many stuff going on now. People say that eventually we are going to peak. At this point in time, in 11 billion is where we're going to peak at this point, and we have already reached another indicator, which is peak child. There is not much
Mhm.
more than 2 million child. It will stay the same. So whatever we do today, it's done. The thing will go, and we will try. It's just we keep on growing because we're just accumulating generation over and over. But we are basically stabilizing the planet Earth. But we can make it go stabilize and eventually go down earlier. So this is an example of one things I was asking myself. We always say that population is the biggest problem. Actually, it's not the biggest problem because we have reached peak child and we have already this thing going. So we cannot influence too much the population. We just need to actually make sure that everybody get good education, because when you have good education, people do less child. And when you have also access to healthcare, people are basically in a state where they are not eager to have so much child, because they know that their generation and their people that will keep going in the future. Basically, it's all about this kind of topic. So what I've done is I've just made a commit, right? I've just downloaded to the open source notebooks. I've added it here. Tried. So I built this notebooks, and then I want to contribute. And the place where we have set up everything is here. So there is this card, word population. I did it with one of the member of the core team, and yeah, we basically pushed it um, here. And it's going to contribute to the awesome notebook repository that is organized by sources. So you can have word temperature, so many different sources you can have here. And at the end of the day, what we want to do with Peter is take all of these different topics and build a World Health Indicator, WHI, which will sound like the Y. And we are pretty excited about it. So if you guys are excited about it as well, you can just I can just give you the link of the Trello board, and you can just contact me on LinkedIn. Basically, it's a non-organized initiative. It's like not organized. We are taking people as they come. There is 25, 30 people, not more than that, here today, working with us. So yeah, I hope you understand the whole topic and idea. I can just share the link. Maybe I don't know where, but I can share it to you later on, and maybe you can send it to the folks.
Oh yeah,
There's the yeah.
sure thing.
If you follow me on LinkedIn, though, you will have all the data because I'm quite vocal on. I'm trying to be more vocal these days on this social media. So just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to chat. And I basically do everything I'm doing. This automation stuff. It's just to be able to meet more people. I love meeting new people and interacting with new people. So I think automation is enabling us to be more human in the end, because you don't
Yeah,
spend so much time in being the robot. You make the robot. You make the robot for you, work for you.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the idea is very pure and very good to have a health indicator that is WHI. That is really very wonderful. I am like I am gonna tell this to everyone. Like everyone need to contribute at least one notebook towards building out something, because that would be a very good experience to at least understand that what is the current scenario right now, right? We have done a lot of things to the earth, so we at least need to know how
What's the
good or how bad shape it is right now, to at least realize and then
Hmm.
take the different steps
Yes,
ahead, right? So it's really
yeah.
wonderful. I want to know more about, like, what are the deadlines, like until when are we expecting to have that entire dashboard coming
Um,
up? I'm really
yes,
excited
it's a
to have a
month.
look at
We
that.
gave ourselves 1 month to be able to at least have something, but it should be every day. So we are going to build we're going to build a group on LinkedIn where people can still keep working and putting ideas. So basically, what you guys need to understand is that with all those notebooks that you can contribute into this awesome notebooks repository, we're going to take the most accurate, interesting, and reproducible stuff. So we're going to take all of those things. Those will be indicators. And we are going to be looking for what are the projections 100 years from now. And what's the
Oh,
best case and what's the worst case scenario. So with
uh,
this, we'll be able to know as we go throughout the years if we are going toward the worst or toward the best. And this will give
uh,
us from 0 to 10. So we'll be able to get this weighted, all those indicators would be weighted. So at the end of the day, you have your weighted indicators of all those different indicators that gives you the
uh,
worth health indicator. So this is the ideas that Peter came with after taking my question and saying like, okay, I'm going to think about it, and he came up with this idea. So I thought it's a very interesting idea to do for people who wants to
absolutely.
showcase that they are working into data science and they are going to transition or they are learning or whatever. It's a very good thing because you can also contribute to an open source project, show it to the world, show that you are working on the open source community, and it's just
Oh,
a cool stuff to do anyway, because like learning how to take data, transform data, make a graph, expose the graph, it's just a cool thing to do if you're working in the data space, I guess.
absolutely, absolutely. It adds something to your profile as well,
Yes.
right? It is a good thing to show, like whenever we are looking up for a job, that we have built something of this
Yes,
sort. It's very much.
definitely. And what we are hoping to do is build a community of contributors in the long run. So it's like you will also, if you are contributing, you will be also allowed, let's say, to put this into your LinkedIn profile and to have this badge where saying like, I am the open source contributor of NAS, you know? So
Pretty
yeah,
amazing.
you should like be able to be known and seen as you have been like you're working as a contributor.
It would add a credibility to the profile. They'll be getting
Yes.
recognized, right? So it's
Yes.
pretty good. It's pretty good. Perfect. I guess that was. I mean, we still have some 4 minutes around. That was pretty good understanding about like what was the agenda on the table for today. That is all about maths, and I hope that everyone has now a very clear idea, not just the introduction. Okay, a very clear idea about how and what NAS is and how they could schedule out everything. And again, let me again remind you that you get the free credits. Okay, so you can, and on first month you also get 300 free credits, which you should explore and work around certain things. At least just try to have some insights and try to schedule something
Yeah.
out. Soon, I am very excited for the future that when we'll be able to push it to our WhatsApp as well. Right? I am very excited for that repo as well. Perfect. So now with this, if we have certain questions, I would like to have some questions from the audience. You can just go to the left hand side and write up your question and just hit enter.
Hmm.
If you have something, I and Jay would be very happy to answer
Cool.
this. But I believe that you have taken care of almost everything around
Yeah,
the.
I'm very curious to learn about all of you guys. So just be sure you can connect with me on social media and on this
Yes.
LinkedIn stuff. This is my page. This is my name, Jérémy Ravenel. You can find me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen yet, but I guess you guys can. You can just Annie, you can just add me up maybe somewhere with my LinkedIn. So I'm very happy to talk with you guys. Um, what I'm going to do is like if you come from Fireblaze, I would also be happy to help you out more particularly to get started. So just feel free to come to us. It's all about building relationships and communities. So I'm very happy that you invited me today, Aniruddha. It's very, very kind of you. And I'm amazed by what you do at Fireblaze. I'm amazed also about your story as a trainer. Um, it's so good to be able to connect with people like you guys and like-minded people.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much for taking out time. With this, I mean, at the end, you just scored out something. So I just have one quick poll for us to understand, or at least have a rough idea about it. That if we could plan out some small workshop, right, for the folks to understand or have a hand holding about how to write their first code on
Mm,
NAS, right, or how to have a first scheduler created.
yes.
If you have some time, or if
Yes.
people would love to
So
have
yeah,
just
definitely.
like
I'm trying.
quick
I'm
poll
starting
around
doing
that.
it. I'm starting doing it every Wednesday in the afternoon here in France. So between 4 to 5, which will be a bit late maybe for India, but like I want people to be able to come to us and make live session where they can just
Mhm.
contribute and live contribute. Like we'll be members of the core team will be there. We'll be able to talk to any folks that want to build stuff. It's going to be live coding session, and yeah. So basically, uh, for anyone who is willing to data, learn data science, which is something that yet I'm not into. Like I'm not a data scientist. I just learned. I figured out stuff that I
Oh,
needed to do. So for me there is no proper way to learn data science. You need to find a problem you want to solve, and then
mhm,
you
mhm.
put your heads in it. You just Google it, try to put the script together. Data science is about building scripts, about building stories, and you have your script. You can write it with the text. When you say it, you can do it in another language, which is Python, but you can say it. So there is no such a thing as the data science thing. It's more fixing problem that you need to think of.
Absolutely. There you go. And yes, to our poll, we have a very good response. We have like 100% audience who is saying up that we wanna have some hand-holding session for us. So I am sure that people are gonna join this. We'll also try to have something coming up as planned for this one. I guess yeah. So people are really enjoyed the session. We are getting some good insights. We are getting some like inputs in the polls as well. That thank you. It's a very wonderful and an innovative session. Again, like I would like to thank you again,
Thank you.
Jay, for coming and doing this up for me.
Thank you
So much for
it was very nice to be with you guys. And hopefully I can see you and we can keep doing stuff with NAAS. And I'm definitely going to be in and keen to do this live session to make contribution with all of you guys. See you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.